So there's the Q9DA and the Q90A. What's the difference? Hey guys, how's it going? Justin here from Waltz TV, and today we're going to be talking about two Samsung QLED TVs and why they're different, but mainly focusing on this one in particular. This is the 50-inch Q9DA. Now, this TV in particular is going to be a 4K Neo QLED, which is a different type of technology. It's actually pretty easy to understand. It's mini LEDs, so instead of regular LEDs lighting up the panel, you get much smaller ones, which allow for more contrast and better lighting, more color accuracy, all the fun stuff. Now, we'll kind of dive into the differences a little bit later in the video, but for base knowledge, what you need to know is that the Q90A 90 is better than the Q9DA. But like I said, the focus of this video is the DA. So this TV is going to come with HDR10 Plus and Dolby Atmos support, so you can hook it up and make sure that you're getting the most out of your viewing experience. And as I said earlier, it is a smart TV, so like most smart TVs, it works with Amazon Alexa and Google Assistant, so you can integrate it into your home. When looking at some of these side features of a TV, something that often gets overlooked is the operating system. By now, most TVs are smart TVs, so you really have to understand the difference between one operating system and another, because some might have built-in apps that the others don't. I'm not going to pretend like I have this big long sheet and I'm going to read off to you every single app for every single TV, so it's up to you to figure out that on your own. You can just go to their websites and look for supported apps, but more importantly to me is how do you control those apps? Now personally, I have a Q60 at my house and I've been looking to upgrade, so this might be actually a good option for me, and I'll tell you why. The operating system moves a lot smoother on this TV than it does in my Q60, and that's simply just because it is a more premium TV. Better processor, more processing power, obviously, and that's what allows it to not lag as much when you press the right or left key, especially typing in passwords. This can be quite annoying, so when you do get, higher end TVs, you get higher end features like that. Now let's talk connections. This thing's going to come with 4 HDMI ports, 2 USB ports, Ethernet port. Obviously, you're going to want that for the most smooth connection, and of course an optical port for your soundbars or other equipment that you like to hook up. I really do recommend you get a soundbar, but we'll talk a little bit about why in just a second. Back to the HDMI, one of them is going to be HDMI ARC, and the other is going to be the 120 Hertz for you gamers. So if you have the next-gen consoles, it's going to look a lot smoother than it would on, let's say, an entry-level TV. Oh, and if you guys are enjoying the video, make sure to leave a like and subscribe. It really does help me out. So now it's time to take a look at the two separate models and what makes them different. If you recall what I said earlier, I mentioned that the Q90A is better than the Q9DA. But why is that? So let's start off with the Quantum HDR, which on the D, you get 24x, as to where on the A, you get 32x. So expect a more crisp and more clear image on the A than the D. Another major difference was the viewing angle, in which on the D, it calls it a wide viewing angle, as to where on the A, it's an ultra viewing angle. I don't have exact percents, but I did compare the two, and it's not a crazy difference, but you can definitely tell that on the A, it's a little bit better from different angles in the room. So that might be something, if you have a large TV and you're watching a lot of sports and you have a lot of people over all the time, might be something worth investing in. And the last kind of major thing that I would say makes these two TVs different is the sound. So there's two things I want to touch on. We'll start off with the feature of the sound, which is called Q Symphony Lite. Now, if you remember, I did do a video on Q Symphony. If you haven't already, check that out. But basically what Q Symphony is it's a really cool feature built into select Samsung TVs, where it allows you to hook up your TV speaker and your TV soundbar and play them at the same time for a more loud and full experience. And that is why I'm a little confused, because there's a Q Symphony, which is on the normal Samsung models, but then on the D, there is Q Symphony Lite. So couldn't really find a whole lot of information on this, but if I had to guess, it probably still can do the same function, but it's not as powerful and doesn't work the same. Now, that's not the only thing, though, that is different with audio. So the D is going to come with a 2.2 channel system, as to where the A has a 4.2.2. So after saying that out loud, it kind of makes sense that maybe the D has Q Symphony Lite because it doesn't have the same amount of channels, and it just needs that to do it effectively, but it still can do it. So it's still Q Symphony, but it's not like full Q Symphony. Does that make any sense? Probably not. So overall, what's really the difference? Well, With the A, you get better sound, you get a better picture, and a better viewing angle. As far as processing speed, I didn't really notice a difference. It is a premium TV either way, so I wouldn't be too worried about that. But, these are just things you have to consider if it's worth paying that extra dollar for, the full 90A. Oh, and lastly, they both are equipped with the Samsung Solar QLED remotes, which you already know I've been raving about them for a pretty long time now. But basically, you can charge these things through the sunlight in your room, or if you don't have any sunlight and you just live in the dark, you can plug it in USB-C. And these things pretty much never die, so that's a pretty awesome feature made by Samsung, and you don't have to go find batteries every time your remote dies. Now, I think that's pretty much going to be about it for this video. If you guys have any questions, feel free to leave them down in the comments section, and all the links in the description for the TVs that we talked about today will be down there as well. If you guys enjoyed the video, make sure to leave a like and subscribe, and we will see you in the next one. That's going to be all for this one, and if you guys haven't already, check out some of our other cool videos on products like these. If you guys are interested in getting the best deal on this product, email YouTube@Waltz. And if you're new here, be sure to hit that subscribe button so you don't miss out on any future videos or deals.